Greetings! We warmly welcome you to Kathaa-Chitram. Who has not heard of the Vedas and the Upanishads, the Itihasas and the Puranas, the pinnacles of Indian culture? The Ramayana and Mahabharata are part of our glorious history. They are also extremely well-written poems. Thus, they are poetic histories of Indian culture, quite a feat to be proud of. The Ramayana is also known as the Adikavi, or the first poem. The illustrious soul who composed the first poem, or the Adikavi, is none other than the great Maharshi Valmeeki. To reminisce the fascinating story of Maharshi Valmeeki is the purpose of this Kathaa-Chitram. For a moment, close your eyes. Allow your mind to visualize the dense, deep forests of the valley situated between the Narmada and Godavari rivers of central India. The major highway that ran right through these thick jungles, the Dakshinapatha, was the pathway for traders traveling from North or South India. Carrying exotic goods in their caravans, they were always subject to the lingering fear of both wild animals and beasts of the forest, as well as the fierce, vandalizing highway bandits. In these same jungles, there lived a family of hunters. A smart young lad by the name of Ratnakara was part of this hunter family. Growing up, he learned all the arts of the wild. There was none to surpass him in swiftly climbing trees, shooting down birds, seeking elusive game, and laying hands to exotic wild honey and fruits. As he grew older, the youthful Ratnakara was married to a huntress. His family grew. He had children. Ratnakara, who was once depended on the selling of exotic wild meats, honey, fruits, roots, and birds for his family, now inevitably descended to banditry. Soon his name was taken in terror by the numerous traders who traveled on the Dakshinapatha. It was impossible to escape his watchful eye, be it night or day. Sitting in wait on a large tree, completely hidden by the foliage, Ratnakara would watch the traders come by, his ears alert to the jingling of cowbells of the caravans. And once they came near enough to be assaulted, he would jump down fiercely with a loud thud and lay his hands on any kind of wealth he could amass. As time passed on, one day, the famous Saptarishis were traveling down the Dakshinapatha. From his tree, Ratnakara saw them coming with their huge bags and their numerous garlands. The moment they neared him, he jumped down fiercely from the tree. Drawing his sharp knife, he commanded thus, "Oi! Have you any idea where you are? I am Ratnakara, and this is my forest. Ho, ho, ho! Lay down all your wealth at once, and only then you may proceed." The 7 sages smiled at him. "My dear man, are you quite sure you're asking the right people for wealth? We are sages, Ratnakara. We don't have any riches nor valuables, nor do we have gold or money. But pray tell me, is it not wrong the way you fiercely assault all the travelers of this road every day? Ever given a thought to it?" Ratnakara brushed off their words and yelled again, "You! Keep your blithering, worthless advice to yourself. I only asked you to pay up, sages or not. Does it even look like I care? Out, I said, out with it. Will you feed my family? Will you clothe them? Or will the nonsense you lot spout at me?" The sages, their eyes now excited and twinkling with amusement, replied, "Well, you have gotten a point there, haven't you? Yes, it is your duty to take care of your family as a householder. But will your family members who share the result of your banditry also partake the sins of these actions?" Ratnakara replied, "Those who eat the fruit of my banditry will share the accruing sins too." Simple, right? Now, out with it or die. The sages said, "Really? Well, why don't you go home and find out if that's true?" We'll wait right here." Ratnakara said, "Ho, ho, ho, oldies! I know every crook, every cheat, every fraud in the book, sire. Why, the moment I turn my back on you, poof, and you'd be gone. Keep those fantasies of me going home to inquire to yourself, and simply pay up." The sages reassured him that nothing of that sort would happen. "We will definitely be here, good man. Why, does it seem like we can run? As you have so rightly put, we are oldies, are we not? So why don't you go home and inquire?" Ratnakara was convinced. He ran home and confronted his family, telling them that he had just encountered some sages who said that his banditry was sinful. "Now, you will all take a share of that too, right?" To which his wife replied with amusement, "Look, to provide for the family is your duty, and to use what you bring home to feed and clothe us all is mine. Where does sin come in here?" His children and aging parents concurred. Ratnakara was numb with cold. Sobbing profusely, he ran back to the Saptarishis and falling at their feet said, "Noble sires, I have erred. Save me! Save me!" The sages lifted him up and consoled him. "Ratnakara, weep not. A great service awaits you. We will teach you how to do meditation and chanting. Just keep chanting this mantra till we return," with single-minded dedication, they said. And deciding that he was not yet ready for the real Rama mantra, told him to repeat "Maral, Maral, Maral" until they got back. Ratnakara was the type of man who would do any work with frightening single-mindedness. Of course, this made his introduction into meditation that much easier, since it requires that sort of stubborn dedication to work properly. He selected a spot, sat down, and closed his eyes. He began to repeat "Maral, Maral, Maral, Maral" again and again. Several months passed. Vermin of all sorts began crawling and climbing over him. But Ratnakara was completely oblivious to the external world. Gradually, ants built an enormous anthill around his stiff and unmoving frame. Still, he knew nothing about it. Quite a while later, the Saptarishis came back on the same route. They were very pleased to see Ratnakara still in the same pose, chanting away at "Mara, Mara, Mara." They called him, "Ratnakara, oh Ratnakara, come out!" And there emerged Ratnakara from inside the huge anthill. In Sanskritam, an anthill is called a Valmika, and hence the rishi born of the Valmika was thence called Valmeeki. Maharshi Valmeeki set up his new life on the banks of the Tamasa river, a tributary of the Ganga. One day, Narada, the son of Brahma, paid a visit to Maharshi Valmeeki. After welcoming him warmly, Valmeeki asked him a question. "O revered Narada," he said, "you who travel the three worlds constantly must know the answer to this question of mine. I am curious. Please tell me if there is one single person today who is a dharmatma, truthful, valiant, and yet a model of humility. One who is quite literally an image of perfection." Narada, of course, had an answer to the question. He replied, "Why, my friend, yes, I do know of such a person. Not far away from here, there rules Rama, the son of Dasharatha, in the great and ancient city of Ayodhya. He is perfection embodied, and there can be no greater and better man than he. His story, too, is very divine." And so saying, Narada related to Valmiki the story of Sri Rama briefly. The divine story filled Valmiki's mind with a rare feeling of calmness, and he was very happy. He thanked Narada for his answer, and the divine rishi went away, twanging his Mahati Veena. The next morning, along with his trusted disciple Bharadvaja, Valmiki set out to the calm and clear waters of the Tamasa river to bathe and perform his daily rituals. As he was bathing in the river, he saw two cranes, called Kronchas in Sanskritam, which were lost in love for each other. They were crooning melodiously in their happiness. "Truly, how happy those two are," he remarked to himself, gazing upon them. As the cranes sat on the branch together, a hunter emerged from behind a tree and released an arrow at the male bird. The poor bird never saw it coming. It fell to the ground, killed brutally when it was in one of its most pleasurable moments of its life. The female crowncha began to cry woefully in pain, having lost its mate. The rishi felt extreme compassion for the poor bird. As it lamented, his eyes lit upon the hunter. He vented his anger on him, cursing him, saying, "Oh, hunter, what have you done? What wrong had this poor couple ever done to you? For your crime of killing a lovelorn bird, may you never see progress."
Manishad Pratishtham Tvamagamah Shashwatihi Samaha Yatkrauncha Mithunadekam Avadhihi Yatkrauncha Mithunadekam Avadhihi Kamamohitam.
These words, ma nishada, which would have been different under other cases, have tremendous importance in the history of poetry. The words which Valmiki spoke turned out to be automatically set to a poetic meter. Valmiki realized that his curse was in verse form, was rhythmical, and could be tuned to music. This was the moment poetry was born. Valmiki was still perplexed. He was also confused about why his curse, which he did not intend to come out the way it had, came out the way it did. He was still thinking over it when Lord Brahma, the creator himself, turned up at the door. Valmiki was thrilled. He welcomed Brahma with necessary rites and devotedly offered him a seat and worshipped him. Divining Valmiki's thoughts, Brahma intervened, saying, "Child, Valmiki, there is no need to be so surprised or shocked at what has just happened. It was always meant to be. Upon my instruction, Saraswati willed those words to come out exactly that way. Using the same meter you used for the curse, may you write the poetic history of Sri Rama." Narada has told you the story of him already, hasn't he? I will give you the divine sight into all the characters, and you will be able to see and hear everyone's thoughts and actions. Characters of Rama, Sita, Hanuman, Ravana, and all others shall reveal themselves to you. This work of yours shall stay eternally. May you succeed in your endeavor. And blessing him thus, Brahma disappeared. Long after the Lord had gone, Valmiki kept thinking over the great task that lay ahead for him. His days as a robber flashed through his memory as he remembered what the rishis had once told him, that there was a great service to humankind to be done by him. Perhaps this is what they meant, Valmiki thought with a smile, and started writing. The rest is history, a beautifully written, dramatic, and poetic history, the Ramayana. It must also be noted here that in some versions, Maharshi Valmeeki is noted as a son of the sage Prachetasa, and that he was separated from his father in his youth and raised by hunters. For the purpose of this Kathaa-Chitram, we have adopted the more commonly known version of the tale. We sincerely thank all of you who have stayed with us to remember the inspiring story of Maharshi Valmeeki. We hope that you like this Kathaa-Chitram. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be updated about our latest videos, and leave a comment behind. Thank you. Shubham.
Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Arukya Kavita Shakham Arukya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Vande Valmiki Kokilam कोकिलं